Hi everyone, thank you for watching. I'm Claudia Perez and I'm a realtor with Tower Team Realty. Today we're here with Frank, a loan expert. And today we're gonna ask him a couple questions in reference to the most frequently asked questions I get from clients. So Frank, the question I get the most is what exactly is a pre-qualification?
It's a great question, Claudia. Thank you for having me first and foremost. Pre-qualification is the first step that a borrower should be taking when deciding to purchase a home. The pre-qualification steps entail sitting down with a loan officer like myself and submitting certain documentation, tax returns, pay stubs, bank statements, and also running a credit application. That way, once we get the whole entire picture, we're able to develop a formulated plan that's going to work for that individual. We like to work on an individual basis, making sure that every client has specific needs that we are addressing.
That's awesome, very good. So in the first meeting you have with that client, aside of the information you will be needing, what other questions you ask them?
So I take it a step further outside of the numbers only. I like to get to know my clients. I like to get to know what it is they're trying to do, whether this is a long-term purchase, a short-term purchase. There's different strategies for any type of loan you're trying to do, and especially depending on what that individual is trying to do. So my questions begin with having a general conversation with the client first, asking them questions about their livelihood, about what it is they do, what it is they're trying to do, short-term, long-term goals, and then we get into the actual numbers part of it. And then I get into specific questions regarding their employment, regarding their income, regarding their expenses, regarding the amount of money that they have to the transaction. Those are the general questions that I begin with.
Excellent. So what are the most popular mortgages you offer and why are they so popular?
So the more popular of loan programs are going to be the FHA program, which allows for first-time home buyers, and also the conventional program, which has rolled out numerous new advancements into their profiles that are allowing for first-time home buyers to also be able to take advantage of a conventional mortgage. Reason being is in Miami, especially and in Florida, there's an abundance of condominiums. Condominiums primarily cannot be financed by FHA, so the conventional option gives first-time home buyers that availability to go ahead and try to purchase a condo if they so chose. So those two programs primarily are the two more popular ones. Then you have the VA program, that's for veterans who have served and have been discharged out of the military and able to purchase properties with as little as 0% down, 100% financing. So those are three extremely popular programs.
And for those FHA and conventional loans, what's the minimum score credit required to apply?
That's a great question. So the minimum credit score typically, and every program is going to have a different parameters. So on the conventional side, you're going to be with a 620 as the minimum credit score we're going to be able to work with. And then when you transfer over to the FHA, you can go as low as 580. Ideally though, you do want to have a minimum of 620 because the loan profile becomes that much easier to qualify and the client is afforded the benefit of a better interest rate as opposed to if you have less than 620, now you fall into a different parameter of the FHA program.
What would be the major thing to do or that the client shouldn't do once they have been approved?
Well, there's numerous things that they should be doing and numerous things that they should not be doing. We have a checklist that we provide every single borrower that outlines, all the do's and don'ts that they should be looking to do and not do when they're deciding to purchase a home. And it all begins even before they come to see me. They should already be making steps to, number one, be saving money. Number two, pay down any debts. Number three, make sure that anything that's on their credit report is theirs and all that information is theirs so that when they come to see me, the pre-approval is that much smoother and we are able to actually come to terms a lot faster. And my ideal scenario is I sit with every client and I tell them my ideal scenario is I want to be able to fit a mortgage into your life that is not going to affect the way you live your life. That you're able to maintain the same level of lifestyle you're living now with a mortgage that now you're a homeowner.
And now that you mentioned the first-time home buyers, what are the options for them? Is there any assistance from the government that they're able to get from them?
There is a couple different programs. It is very much specific to the individual borrower. A lot of the programs are income driven. The higher the income, the less they would qualify for, the lesser the income, the more they would qualify for. but it's something that I review with every single borrower when I do their pre-approval. As we mentioned at the beginning of this interview, it's the most important component of it because I outline everything that the borrower is able to do, not only with qualifying, but also with the type of assistance that they're able to accomplish.
Good. So the next question I have in mind is if the credit score is too low,
okay,
or they have too much debt, what's the next step for that customer?
So a lot of times these borrowers, they go to different institutions and they're turned away because the credit may not be sufficient at the moment to be able to make a purchase. I tell all these borrowers, go get a second opinion. Go find another individual that's able to work with you and formulate a plan to get you to home ownership. It's a possibility. Now, it does require work on both ends, from a loan officer's perspective and also from the client's perspective. They have to be able to and willing to do what the loan officer tells them to do in the plan of action in order to be able to purchase, whether it's 3 months down the line, 6 months down the line, or a year down the line. It's sometimes a process that takes a little bit longer, so they have to be willing to keep up with it and move forward with it and do what's required. And if they do it 9 times out of 10, they're able to make a purchase.
Yeah, so they have like a plan. Okay, let's say I want to buy a home in the next 4 months. They can go through the process and then they'll be ready from the
Correct.
4 months.
I tell all my clients this. All pre-approvals are extremely well for the client and good for the client. And by that I mean there's never a pre-approval that you're gonna walk out of my office feeling bad about yourself. You either qualify now or we set a plan of action for you to qualify in the near future.
So after a person, they've been in a foreclosure or short sale procedure, like how many years after that they qualify for the loan?
Great question as well. So that's going to depend on the program, whether it's a conventional loan, whether it's an FHA loan, whether it's a VA loan. They all have different requirements. Once I sit with a client and I review their options and I see their profile, I see if they have a bankruptcy, if they have a foreclosure, if they have a short sale, and I match it up with the type of loan program that we are trying to qualify for, and I make sure that there's enough seasoning. Seasoning means that enough time has passed since that occurrence, short sale, foreclosure, or bankruptcy, from what Fannie Mae and or FHA will allow. Each one is different. So it's, again, on a very much individual basis.
And let's say the client is married, and do they need to include the spouse in the mortgage application?
No, they do not need to include the spouse in the mortgage application. Now, if it is a situation where both the husband and the wife are both working and they want to qualify maybe for a higher amount, we absolutely take a look at that and see what the possibilities are there. Now, it doesn't mean, again, that is an absolute necessity. Now, in the state of Florida, if you are legally married, your spouse has to go on the title. They don't have to be on the mortgage application, but they do have to be on the title, giving them rightful ownership of the property.
Okay, Frank, this concludes our session of interviewing. Thank you so much, you guys, for watching. Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. And hopefully we have answered some of your questions and concerns, and hopefully we can help you find your dream home.